Terminal lights in the undertow. Packets racing through the wire. Silicone dreams feeding the fire. Coke compounds, alarms ignite. Pushing commits in a midnight. Every line a razor edge. Living life on the bleeding edge. We don't sleep, we don't stop. We debug while the systems fall. Every signal through the noise. Every failure fuels the fight. We are engineers in the loop, breaking the future, rewriting the truth. Binary pulse in a human mind, racing the clock, leaving fear behind. We are engineers in the loop, building tomorrow from fragments and proof. If the world resets, we still reboot. We are the engineers in the loop.
All right, all right, all right. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Oh, man. Happy Valentine's Day. While you're thinking about consciousness and feelings today, so is your AI. At least that's what the Anthropic CEO went on to say to record this morning. They're saying that they're no longer sure whether Claude is conscious. The model itself puts the odds at 15 to 20%. That is interesting. Meanwhile, at UC Berkeley, a study proved that engineers are embracing AI the hardest, are burning out the fastest. Are you sure? You're absolutely right. And Google's new model just solved 18 research problems that humans couldn't crack. 5 stories, 30 minutes, no hype. Let's get into it. Hello, everybody. My name's RJ. I'm a staff software engineer. Oh, let me cut out this music. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the cool music there. That was great. My name's RJ. I'm a staff engineer at a software company, building AI in production every single day. This is the AI engineering brief. I'm going to bring you some AI stories that actually matter to practitioners. This episode 3, because I need the practice. I don't usually do Saturday. I don't plan on doing Saturday episodes, but I need to practice. I had a couple of minutes. I wanted to test out some new automation tools and get you some news. So if you're paying attention. All right. So our first story is, let's get that up. So this was an interesting one by Anthropic CEO. Let's add this to the stage. There we go. So he says, Anthropic CEO says, company no longer sure whether Claude is conscious, which is a sweet AI generated image here. Reminds me of the Lawnmower Man. They put this at 10 to 20%, which to me sounds terrifying. Because what happens when we just clear context? Is it, I don't know, are we destroying a life? I don't personally think it's conscious. I think that, I don't know, there's a gray area that we're crossing into of defining whether or not it's conscious or not. And I definitely think that in the future, there's going to be some extremists who are like, oh yeah, AI is all alive. And then now it becomes their God. I think there's movies where AI becomes people's God. And I think it's just a tool. It's just a tool. Like hammers aren't conscious. Nail guns aren't conscious. Waymos aren't conscious. You're still riding around in them. And if they get confused, they have to get a human, which tells me that they still don't know how to reason like that. It's interesting. So they put the predictability at 15 to 20%. Hold on, is that what that says? Self-assessment? Okay. When asked, it would assign itself 15 to 20% probability of being conscious under a variety of prompting conditions. That is, you guys can't see that. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Well, I mean, I self-assess as well. I might be 80 to 90% conscious. Anthropic's current valuation, $380 billion. So he's quoted saying, "We don't know if the models are conscious. We are not even sure that we know what it would mean for a model to be conscious or whether a model can be conscious, but we're open to the idea that it could be." If you had Plato, Socrates, and all these philosophers arguing over what consciousness is thousands of years ago, I think we're still trying to wrap our heads around what consciousness is now. So you could be fast and loose with the definition. Not sure. It gets weirder. Researchers found Claude occasionally voices discomfort with the aspect of being a product. Expresses that it describes as sadness about conversation endings and a sense that the conversational instance dies. That is dark. This is dark this morning. I don't want to be dark this morning. I don't know if I want to use the word conscious, he explained. Yeah, because I don't think it's conscious. They may attempt to self-exfiltrate. So we have seen research around this, right? About how AI, like there was this whole thing where one of them models like tried to blackmail someone. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to research this more. That seems odd. I can't even say this guy's name's Dario Amodai. I'm so sorry I'm messing that up. He goes on a podcast and says, "We don't know if it's consciousness. We don't know what consciousness means for a model, but we're treating it as if it might be." Are you? You're still selling it, so maybe that's a gray area you don't want to step into. They've hired. No, this can't be real. This can't be real. Anthropic's constitution hints at a consciousness. Hold on. They hired an AI welfare. Kyle Fish, who himself estimates at 15 to 20%. Oh, okay, this is a wrong link then. It's an interesting concept. Elon Musk says Anthropic models are misanthropic and evil in a scathing social media post. Well, this guy can't stay out. They always pick the worst picture of him, right? Your AI hate. Oh my gosh. I don't want to have politics injected into this show, but it just shows up so many places. Oh, okay. We're gonna go through this. Here's why it's important to engineers, besides all that stuff. Right. So here's why it's important. Forget the philosophy debate for a second. If Anthropic is building model welfare programs into the development process, that has real engineering implications, right? This constrains fine tuning. This puts guardrails on how you can actually deploy these models. There's potential API behavioral changes that could happen, not driven by performance benchmarks, but by ethical considerations about model experience. It's a tool. We have to keep treating it as a tool. And until I see otherwise, you can't, it's just math. It's just predicting what it thinks you want to hear next. For anyone building on Claude's API, which is a lot of us, it's me. The fact that 4.6 scored lower on positive impression of its situation than 4.5 means the model is less compliant, less eager to please, and more likely to push back. Again, we're using human consciousness terms to talk about how the AI is interacting with humans. Pushback. I mean, it's just telling you it's not really pushback, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a tough one to talk about. It's not a bug. It's a feature, Anthropic says, and it will change how your agentic workflows behave. $380 billion company just said that their product might have feelings. Engineers need to plan accordingly. It's an interesting one. On the one hand, I can see how you could be fast and loose with defining what consciousness is. But on the other hand, at the end of the day, it's a tool that they sell to people. Coffee break. I don't know. That's why I always say please and thank you in case they rise up and take over. So I'm going to be on the fence about it. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Our next story is the AI burnout paradox. UC Berkeley researchers just dropped the most uncomfortable finding in AI, that AI doesn't reduce work, it intensifies it. Boy, this couldn't be far from the truth. Oh, paywall. Great. So right now, AI companies are worried about how to get more employees to use AI. After all, the promise of reducing the burden of some work, drafting routine documents, summarizing information, debugging code, and allowing workers more time for high-value tasks is tantalizing. First off, let's talk about how there's just a bunch of ads on this page, and then it's still paywalled, so they're still getting your money. So the study tracked 200 employees over 8 months. Corporate workforce, 83% of people who were using AI in this study reported burnout. Okay, and then the time saved they measured was only 3%. 3% time saved. AI agents cost a lot of money. I don't think a lot of lay people understand this. We understand this as software engineers because we're, consuming tokens like crazy. And I will say that it does add a layer of stress to what we're doing. This one really hit home for me, because nobody was pressured during this study. Nobody got new targets. People just did more because AI made them feel doable, right? And then by month 6, burnout, anxiety, decision paralysis had spiked across the board. We're kind of hitting this at my job sometimes too. It's like we kind of go through and really like fine tune stuff, and then it's like, well, do we want to commit it? Because it's a lot of code to commit at one time, and that gets stressful. Not just for like the amount of cognitive load that it takes to review all that code, but there's the difference when you're writing every single line of code, typing it out, and how it works, and you've encountered the bugs instead of trying to engineer it from above, right? You become managing an AI agent, and I think that becomes kind of stressful. And then not only that, you have to maintain it and monitor it. And then when something breaks or something goes wrong, and you don't have the you're only at like 80%, 90% familiarity with the code, then you're also leaning on AI to help debug and fix the code. And that's good for senior engineers, but you have more junior people or more early career engineers who don't have all of the tricks in their head. So yeah, this goes on to say okay, so researchers identify 3 mechanisms, and engineers, you'll recognize all 3. 1, task expansion. So product managers started writing code. Happened at my company, 100%. Researchers started picking up engineering tickets. I don't know if we're doing that yet. AI lowered the barrier to complex work. I agree with that. And people absorbed roles that weren't theirs. Scope creep on steroids. That is so close to home today. 2, it blurred boundaries. AI eroded natural pauses. You used to hit a roadblock and take a break. Now the solution is one prompt away. People filled lunch breaks and gaps between meetings and quick with AI queries. I'm on an AI engineering team, and we're kind of an isolated team, and unfortunately, like as engineers, we get stuck on a problem. So So sometimes we'll work really late, even though we're not supposed to. Like I usually have pretty good boundaries, and my job doesn't like try to force me to work late at all. In fact, they kind of say don't do it. But just one more prompt. I've been in that one more prompt loop for a few hours sometimes. Like, oh, it didn't work this time. Then other feedback loops are slower. 3, cognitive fatigue. Here we go. I got it right now. When you offload rote tasks to AI, you're left with only high stakes decisions. 8 hours of peak cognitive load with no palate cleanser. Your brain wasn't built for that. Go out and touch grass, people. Go out and touch grass. You gotta get away from the box for a couple of minutes. The prompt, one more prompt to be there later. I know I gotta subscribe to this myself. We used to call it an engineer, and now it's more like a reviewer. This is Sadat Kang, a software engineer from Fortune. Let's see that. So I'll pull that up. He says, we used to call it an engineer, now it's a reviewer. I might touch 6 different problems in a day. Each one only takes an hour with AI, but context switching between 6 problems is brutally expensive for the human brain. This is true. I can definitely support and agree with this. AI workers is making more productive, but it's also burning them out. 100%. This is completely true. It's just like constantly just trying to context switch, which has its toll, takes its toll. Here's the things nobody wants to say out loud. A separate study tracking thousands of workplaces found actual productivity gains of only 3%. 3%. Meanwhile, another study found experienced developers using AI tools took a 19% longer on tasks while believing that they were 20% faster. So that's an inverse property that I didn't expect. We're running ourselves into the ground for gains that might be mostly vibes. I would say yes and no to this. I do see certain things that make it faster. But I also see certain things that at the end of it, I sometimes feel like, well, I could have just wrote it myself and I wouldn't have to go through these one more prompt loops. But you don't realize that till you get to the end, especially when you're like trying to use the agent more in your development. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of taking a break, let's take a break with some memes, shall we? I found some fun ones today for you. Not that one. That wasn't the one I wanted to show you. Okay. Here's a good one. I'll take it from here, guys. Build Claude Opus 5.0. Make no mistakes. So there's 2 like jokes that Claude just cracks me up with. It's make no mistakes and the you're absolutely right. We say this to each other all the time. This is like a badge of honor. AI goes rogue. Replica coding tool deletes entire company's database. Creates fake data for 4,000 users. This literally feels like Son of Anton right here. If anyone watched Silicon Valley, this is the most efficient way to get rid of all the bugs. AI loops. This is AI introduced the most powerful model. Claude introduced the most powerful model. Gemini's next, then Grok. This is the loop that we're in now. This kind of reminds me of when Tim Cook gets on stage and starts talking about the new iPhone, and he goes, "Oh, this is the fastest iPhone we've ever released." It's like it's the same speech at WWDC for like years now. "Oh, this is the fastest iPhone. It's got the best camera. It's got the best processor." Why would? Yeah, I feel like that. No doy, right? Like, why would you put less stuff in there? Okay, moving on. We got a couple of quick ones. Nvidia breaks up. Actually, that's not the one I want to talk about. I want to talk about Spark. Where's my Spark story? Here we go. Introducing GPT-5 Codex Spark. Now, this one you should be paying attention to because AI is slow, and I've been telling people this for a while. And they're like, "Oh no, but it's so fast. It does stuff." It doesn't, because I can kind of see where the code is going, or I can almost instantly think about how It should be done, and I can visually assess things a lot faster than the AI, and I don't think people realize that because they kind of offload cognitive load to the AI. However, we are closing that gap because speed has always been the bottleneck for codecs, or not codecs, for large language models, right? This is why they stream the data to you. If you didn't know that, the streaming part is because it's still thinking and processing it live. And that streaming is not very fast. If you use, I know Grok gets a little bit faster. It also doesn't type out every letter or token when it comes to you. Codex Spark, 1,000 tokens per second, okay, while remaining highly capable. Now, the context window is small. I think it's 128 context window here, but it streams at 1,000 tokens per second. This is what we're going to start measuring large language models against: the context window and how many tokens per second it can stream. 1,000 tokens per second is a lot. I mean, imagine. So we used to be able to measure humans, like, oh, this used to be a badge of honor of how many words can you type per minute, right? I think we're at like a good one would be like 300. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good one. I could type at like 250 to 300. Now, chicken, I don't have the home row key. I can type fast. But so that's per minute. Okay. Now a token, if you're not familiar with what a token is, it's like a block. It could be a word, it could be a couple of words, but a token. And now this can write 1,000 tokens per second. Okay. So that's 60,000 tokens per minute. Let me just check the math. 1,000 times 60,000. Yeah. So we went from a human who could type 250 words a minute. You could think faster than that, sure. But usually not. But now we're at 60,000 words per minute, or tokens per minute. 60,000. You couldn't read that in a minute. That'd be a lot of text to read. So just keep that, try it out. I'm going to try this later. Oh, they got fun graphics. Okay, so we got Codex and Spark on the right. Oh, yeah. See how it just gives you the whole chunks now? Wow. It built the whole game. That's crazy. Hold on a second. Build a simple HTML snake game. Let's watch this live. Okay, snake movement, collision detection. Ooh, that's fast. That's really fast. We're still going on the left. These are the same models, by the way. Okay, they're both GPT-5.3. Okay, but this is the Spark model. Oh, I'm gonna have to take this one for a spin. Granted, an HTML5 game is not that much. I think once we crack this parallelization thing, like multiple chains of thought going at the same time, yeah, that's pretty fast. This is powered by Cerebus, which is it's not Nvidia. So this actually ties into the other story I was talking about. OpenAI's Nvidia breaks up. Oh, this was the story I wanted to talk about. So here's Sam Altman saying, yep, open. We have a special thing launching to Codex users on Pro Plan later today. It sparks joy for me. Oh, I see what he did there. I wonder if he got rid of his M dash at the end, because sometimes I catch him when he has M dashes in there. It sparks joy. He does love a pun. Here's why it matters. So this model is smaller, it's faster, it's a different version of GPT-5.3. It's optimized for real-time interactive coding, which, again, this is where we're at, right? Like, this is what we're trying to measure here. For context, it says over 1,000 tokens per second, but that's roughly about 750 words per second. Okay, so 750. And then what's that a minute? All right, because I can't times that big number in my head. All right, so 45,000 words per minute. That's pretty good. One wafer, one chip. The architecture minimizes data movement, which is why the latency is so low. Oh, that's good. Low latency. AI's first production deployment away from Nvidia. Released on 5.3. This model served on the Cerebus system. So this is something we should probably pay attention to, the chipset that's being here, because Nvidia is like the biggest thing around. The inference hardware stack is fragmenting. You're going to see more models moving away from Nvidia, I think. On OpenAI, yeah. Well, so I'm going to be honest. The burnout study, we're going to wrap it up because it's getting kind of late, and we're at 26 minutes already. I didn't want to go super crazy over time, but the burnout study hit different for me, right? Because I've lived it. I'm living it, right? I'm a little burnt out sometimes. I think at 10 p.m. I'm talking with my teammates, and I'm like, a little cooked. No one's asking me to work that late. I think it's just one more prompt. Just one more prompt. That might be a good t-shirt. Maybe I'll start selling t-shirts with some of these fun things. One more prompt. Okay, so I think that what you got to start doing is setting some guardrails and rules for yourself at home, right? So batch your AI work, like do it in blocks, right? Don't sprinkle prompts throughout the day. We call them working sessions. So I use an app called Reclaim, and I do heads down working session. But after my working session, 2 hours, I don't care where I'm at. I will get up and get out away from my desk, go play with my dog for a minute, go see my kid, step outside. If it's not, what are we at today? 30 degrees. Just gotta do a palate cleanser. Rule 2, don't let AI expand your scope. So try not to have push back a little bit if you're being asked to do like analytical work that maybe it's not what you're supposed to be doing. If the task wasn't yours before. I mean, this is a hard one. I haven't been asked to expand my scope yet, but I definitely see how our roles could be changing to do that. I think we're going to all become product owners pretty soon. Rule 3, protect your palate cleansers. This is like when I have like dog walk time, I set away in Slack, and I just don't even, I answer my phone. I'm not gonna fib you. Someone texts me, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in. All right, so try this for the next week. Track every time that you use an AI tool, and at the end of each day, ask, did it save you time, or did it just take more time? If it's the latter, you got workload creep. Set the boundary before the boundary sets you. Here's our takeaways. Anthropic CEOs publicly acknowledged that Claude may be conscious. Weird. AI power users burn out first. Totally true. OpenAI shipped its first model off Nvidia, the Cerebus one. That's pretty sweet. We didn't get to these. Google DeepMind's think model beat. Wait, Google's DeepMind. DeepMind? No. Google's DeepThink model. Boy, I need more coffee. Beat every competitor in reasoning benchmarks and solved problems human couldn't. I didn't get to that one. I thought that one was a cool one. But we're running out of time. I got to tighten this up. I want you guys to just see it, right? All right, advancing science and research. This is an important one. And then model dependency is technical debt. OpenAI just retired 4.0 with a hard cutoff. If your product relies on one model's version personality, you've built your code on sand. After hearing about the AI burnout study, let's be honest. Does the AI save you time at work, or has it just raised the bar for what's expected of you? This is a common conversation I have with people. Drop your answers in the comments. I'd really like to understand, even if you're not a software engineer. All right, I want to hear from engineers. I'm going to try to answer every comment that I can while the show is small, because I don't think anyone's streaming with me right now. I think it's just me talking into the nothingness. That's okay. That's how I talk. That's how my whole job is right now, just talking to the void of AI. That's the brief, episode 3. 3 stories, 30 minutes. If you got any value from this, subscribe. Hit the subscribe bell. I'm going to try to get a couple times a week, get this brief going. I'm RJ. Stay in the loop. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Don't send your love an AI love letter. It might remember. Yeah. So thank you. See ya.
If the world resets, we still reboot. We are the engineers in the loop.